Assalamu alaikum. In term 2, we took lesson 7.2. We analyze and graph ellipses and circles. In 7.1, we analyze and graph the parabolas. Now, we will take 7.3 about hyperbolas. We will analyze equations of hyperbolas. Now, the new vocabulary we have in this lesson: hyperbola, transverse axis, conjugate axis. Before we start our lesson, I bring for you some real-life application about hyperbola. We can see this in architecture. Look at the curve here. This is hyperbola, and even here, the same idea. Another real-life application. This is airplane breaks the sound barrier. Just look at this shape. It's a cone, and this, if the plane is horizontal to the earth, look at the shape that makes here on the ground. This is the hyperbola. So this is one or two examples about real life application for the hyperbolas. Let's start now to identify the characteristics of the hyperbolas. The first one is the center. It's the point here in the middle. This is the center. We will take later when we take the formulas that the center is H and K. We will take it later. We have vertex 1, vertex 2, focus 1, focus 2, or the opposite. Okay. Now the line that combine between the two vertices here, the blue one, this line is the transverse axis. And the line that is perpendicular to it, this one, the red one, is the conjugate axis. This one is vertical hyperbola, and this one is horizontal hyperbola. Again, we have center, vertex 1, vertex 2, focus 1 and 2, transverse and conjugate axis. Again, the conjugate is perpendicular to transverse axis. And let's not to forget that we have two asymptotes. If you see this line and the other line here, we have two asymptotes. And we talked before that the asymptote will not touch the graph itself. Whatever you extend them, they will not touch. Okay. So these are the formulas, exactly like the parabolas. Yeah, okay. So like the parabola, we have a center, vertices, voices, transverse, conjugate. We have a lot of formulas here. And of course, by practicing, you will memorize them exactly like the parabola. It was difficult at the beginning, then by practicing, it was easy. This one is horizontal again, and this one is vertical. So the equation now, I want you to notice the difference between the equation, the differences. The first one, we have x minus h here at the beginning, and we have here y minus k at the beginning. And the number with x is h, the number with y is k, and the opposite here. K at the beginning, or h at the end. The numbers down here, we have a squared and b squared, the same here, no difference. The first number a, the second number is b. And let's not forget that c squared equal a squared plus b squared, or directly c is the square root of a squared minus b squared. So let's start with the first example. The second one, you'll solve it alone. Analyze the hyperbola given by x squared over 49 minus y squared over 81 equal a. I bring for you here the original one so you can compare between them. Let's start. Before you solve anything, you need to classify 5 things. H, K, A, B, and C. All of these things, you can find them directly here. The first one, H is the number with x. So this will be 0. Can I ask you one question before we start? Is it horizontal or vertical? Yes, correct. It's horizontal. Okay. So K, now let me write it horizontal because we have X in the beginning. Now, K equal the number with Y, which again 0. A, let's do it here. A square equal 49. So A square 49. This means the square root A equal 7. So A is 7. The same idea with B. B square equal the number down here. So it will be 81. Take the square root. B equal 9. So B equal 9. Now to find C, if you remember, I just told you that C is the square root of A square plus, A square plus B square. So this means square root A square is 49 plus B square is 81. Under the square root everything, the answer will be 11.4. So we found A equals 7, B equals 9, C 11.4. Let's add H equals 0, K equals 0. Now I brought for here the formulas, but in the exam you have to memorize them, of course. So let's start with the center. The rule of the center is H and K. Just from the list here, we have H equals 0, K equals 0. The vertices, we have two vertices. One of them with positive or plus, the second one with minus. So H plus A, the first one, H is 0 plus A is 7. With K is 0. This is the first vertex. The second one is H minus A now. H minus A 0 minus 7, negative 7, with the same K 0. Now the focus 1 and focus 2, again plus and minus. Let's start with the plus, H plus C. H is 0 and C is 11.4, so 0 plus 11.4 is 11.4. In the Y, we have K equal 0. The same for the minus, H0 minus C, so it will be negative 11.4, and K is 0 again. The last step to find the asymptotes. Okay, I will make it here so you can follow the steps. Y minus K is 0, equal. Now we have positive and negative. We will start with positive. Positive, B is 9 over A 7. Open the brackets, X minus H is 0. Close the bracket. Now just we need to simplify. Y minus 0, Y. 9 over 7. X minus 0 is X, so just multiply it with X. This is my first asymptote. Y equal 9 over 7 times X. Let's find the second asymptote. Follow the same steps, except when we have positive, remove it to negative. So Y minus 0 equal negative 9 over 7. 1 minute. Negative 9 over 7. X minus 0 again is X. So this is just Y minus 0, Y equal negative 9 over 7x. This is my second asymptote. I will write it here in the table. Okay, so we found the characteristics of the hyperbola. Now I want you to look at this graph. we have the center is H and K, it's 0 and 0. This is the center, 0 and 0. The first vertex here is 7 and 0, so this is 7 and 0. The second vertex is negative 7 and 0. The focus 1, this one, 11.4 was 0. Focus 2, negative. Now the asymptotes, they are linear. This is linear equations. This means that the graph should be linear. Do you see this line? This is the first and the second asymptotes. The graph will not touch these asymptotes. Okay, so that's it for now. But before that, can you tell me where is the transverse axis? It's here. This is the transverse axis. It's the line that connected between the two vertices, and we know we have a rule for it. The transverse axis equal 2a. I mean the length here. The length of the transverse, it's 2a. We found 8, I guess 7, 2 times 7, it's 14. And this makes sense because we have here 7 steps, and here 7 steps. Together it will be 14. Now the conjugate here is the perpendicular line here, and the conjugate equal to b. This means 2 times b is 9, it will be 18. This means I have from here till negative 9, and from here till positive 9. I hope it's correct. Okay, so this is my conjugate axis. Now, that's it. I want you, this is your time now. You have to analyze the hyperbola by this equation, and you should first tell me, is it vertical or horizontal? After that, you have to find A, B, C, H, and K. Then solve it. So this is your homework for tomorrow. I will see you. Thank you.